आप पे आरोप है कि आपने PUBG बैन किया.
हाँ
That's true.
हाँ, बैन किया है, और हमारा इन अ सेंस ड्यूटी टू ऑल ऑफ यू इज टू कीप द इंटरनेट सेफ, to keep the internet trusted. And while we love innovation, we love what young Indians and indeed youngsters all over the world are doing, we also have an obligation to make sure that things are not bad, things are not unsafe, things are not mistrusted. So there are certainly interventions where we will intervene and say this is not good, and we will lay out very transparently the criteria for why it's not good. We want to make sure that for the 120 crore Indians who are on the internet is always safe and trusted. And therefore, PUBG ka ban was justified. But BGMI has been unbanned. So I think people who are very keen on that format of battleground gaming are happy. And then, of course, there is Call of Duty and all of those other things still there.
You're saying Call of Duty, BGMI. It's cool.
No. So I think, look, gaming is certainly part of the lifestyle of younger Indians and youngsters all over the world. And we certainly don't want to be sitting there and playing an old grumpy uncle or old grumpy grandfather and come in the way of that. But we have a duty to not just to the country, but to all of you as well, all the youngsters as well, that we have to make sure that what is out there is not addictive, does not disrupt your lives, does not create harm for others. For example, women gamers. Many games are hostile environments for young girls who want to be also gamers. So we certainly will do our bit in intervening. These type of issues should not be there in your game.
Okay. Two-pronged question. One is, how do you look at the world of gaming? Because the world of gaming is extremely excited about where it's going, especially financially.
Yes.
Be it the gaming content creators, competitive gamers, or even gaming entrepreneurs, people are extremely pumped about where Indian gaming is going. So are you guys aware about it in the technology ministry?
Oh, absolutely. And that is why we recently came up with these rules that have creating a framework so Indian games can grow. Indian gaming companies can grow. I know Call of Duty and there are so many gaming labels and games out there. But I also want, and the Prime Minister also wants, that in the next 5 years, there are more and more Indian games.
Right.
We are gamifying Indian stories, Indian scenarios. So I am very confident that over the next 3-4 years, there will be multi-billion-dollar gaming entrepreneurs, gaming startups that come out of India, and that gamify stories that you and I know as youngsters, or if you don't know it, at least I know as a youngster, that can be beautifully gamified. So there is a tremendous amount of potential that we don't have to go to Call of Duty. We can do an equally exciting product or a game that is really India-based.
Call of Kurukshetra. Perfect. Where you get to...
Yeah, exactly. There are so many stories in our history of battles, valiant battles, Rana Pratap, Shivaji. There are so many of these stories that can be gamified that I believe that while the formats may be similar, that the Indian stories, the stories that you and I have heard when we were children, and can have a great potential of being gamified.
Yeah. Now I'll ask you the second aspect of the same question.
Anji.
What was the internal discussion? Like, did you talk to PM Modi about PUBG when it was at its peak? Like, how did you guys figure that this needs to be banned?
So PUBG is very simple. It fell afoul of a couple of things that we think should not be done. Okay. For example, the server should not be abroad. Data should not be exported of consumers because it violates the fundamental right to privacy. That is part of Article 21 of the Constitution. You and I have the fundamental right today that our data cannot be used by or misused by anybody without our consent. So there were a lot of these types of issues that were violating your rights as a consumer and all your viewers' rights. And that is why it was done. And plus, there is an aspect of some games that are addictive, cause harm. So even on content part of some games, there are some issues that PUBG fell afoul of. So that is why. So these are simple decisions. There is no, let's say, there is no subjectivity to it.
Okay.
I don't like this game because as a criteria hai, and then based on that criteria, we take a call.
Okay. Was there any geopolitical angle?
No.
Nothing like that.
Nothing like that. Geopolitics is only to the extent that data of Indian consumers cannot leave the country.
Gotcha.
To that extent, that there is a geopolitics in it, and that is a violation of the constitutional right that you and I have.
Yeah. Okay.